Introducing Nick Tate, Joe Caldero, Chad Young,
SmashMouth Footballerz.
Hi, my name's Nick Tate here at SmashMouth Footballerz Podcast, and I'm with
Joe Caldero.
Chad Young.
We're going to revamp our program today. We got a good friend of mine, Danny. He's helped us out with a lot of our audio and video. We're going to go over our running back projections ADP for 2024.
Most of these ADPs we're going with are standard league, but we'll also talk about PPRs for the running backs that receive the ball a lot also.
Yeah, we're also going to go in a little bit of depth with some rookies, some fantasy duds, some studs, who we trust, who we think sucks. So we're on it right now. Our three is pretty unanimous, right?
Let's kick it off with Christian McCaffrey. What you think about that?
I signed a 2-year deal. They give him be in San Francisco 2 more years. I love him. I like Breece Hall more this year.
I like Breece Hall a lot.
I think Breece Hall is my number one. I like Bijan more than Christian this year.
Christian McCaffrey could potentially get more carries if one of those two receivers does leave.
Yeah,
because they got to free up some money in order to pay Christian McCaffrey.
So. They can't pay both those guys. Right.
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you. I think Christian McCaffrey is the good old faithful, right? So I know you guys love Breece Hall and everything like that. But here's the thing: is it all kind of depends on how their whole team goes this year.
Right.
I mean, if Aaron Rodgers goes down in the first pass of the game again, they're revamping their whole program.
Breece Hall was a top 5 running back last year with terrible.
I know that's what I'm saying. Is though. So you still got McCaffrey, who was still winning even in that position. Are they going to be in that position next year? Or are they going to be in the same position? A better position going into this season?
This is why I got him. Look, this is the second year in the system. All right, everybody's gotten better. The only thing I'm worried about the Jets is injury, and then the 2 old tackles, the left and right tackle. Yeah. Other than that, that team is stacked, man. Like, there should be no reason why if he's a top 15 quarterback, if Aaron Rodgers is a top 15 quarterback, I think this team is destined to go to the AFC title game.
If Aaron Rodgers goes down, Tyrod Taylor's in the wing. Yeah. He's a viable starting quarterback in spots. And who is there for the 49ers if Purdy goes
your
down?
backup is not there. You're right. If Purdy goes down, they're kind of hit. But, they're going to give the Christian McCaffrey the ball more often there than they will before.
San Francisco's a system. Like Miami, certain team. Like, what is it? Miami was ranked first in running back rushing yards last year.
Right.
San Francisco was third. It's their system. Like, Christian McCaffrey's going to get the ball. That's why he's number one. We all know that. I'm just talking about this year. I like Breece Hall. He's younger. I like the talent around him more, and that's why I'm going with him. Like Bijan, Bijan's more than a wild card than anybody. He's a better player than both of them.
Yeah, he definitely got a better quarterback going in next year.
And I ain't lying to you. Like, I don't know what's going on in Atlanta. San Francisco, Pittsburgh, because you went and got Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith couldn't do anything, and he had Bijan, and he had Pitts, and he had Drake London, and he had Tyler Algier. And,
one gets hot, and he pulls him out.
Yeah, and at Pittsburgh, you got Najee Harris. This dude couldn't do nothing with Bijan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's something to talk about because Najee is looking at top 20 pick. Some people are.
Yeah. There's no way.
Oh, my gosh,
no
man. Are we serious? Did anybody look what Atlanta did last year with all them weapons?
So in a straight PPR league,
yeah,
Christian McCaffrey would 100% be the number 1 running back.
Yeah, I think so. PPR, I'm going with CMC.
Standard league, I'm going Breece Hall. Because of his breakaway ability.
Okay, so if we had a chance to pick between the 3 players, right? ADP is first Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
Number 2, Breece Hall. And number 3 is Bijan Robinson. If you could redo that in your own way, how would that go about?
Breece Hall, Christian McCaffrey, and Jonathan Taylor. No, for Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, I take those 3. That's my ranking too. I take Breece Hall, CMC, and Bijan.
All right, so we got through the top 3. That's kind of how everybody feels about that. Is Bijan is definitely going to be number 3, and Breece Hall is either going to be 1 or 2, and Christian McCaffrey they kind of flip flop. Going into number 4, we got Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley has a brand new team. Mm-hmm. This boy has opportunity finally. He's been playing on the New York Giants, and it has been terrible for him for years. He was the only option every time, and he was sustaining injury after injury after injury. So where are we at now with Saquon?
Saquon on a bad team was still a first round, second round pick every year in fantasy football. So if people are shying away from Saquon now, it's going to be at the detriment of their own team. I would definitely, if I was the 10th pick, Saquon is going to be one of those 2 picks if someone didn't already get him.
I'm taking him as I don't know if I'm taking him as a top 5, but I mean, I'll take him as a top 8 running back. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, his ceiling's higher, right?
Yeah.
I think Saquon's older and he's been hurt, and Philadelphia got what they wanted out of DeAndre Swift, and they still kicked him away. Like, and I thought, man, this dude, like, he proved in Detroit he could throw the ball, he could catch the ball. He proved in Philly he could run the ball, and they got rid of him for him. And Saquon can do both as well. I think like it's kind of the same back. Saquon's just a little bit better, you know. I think Jahmyr Gibbs' ceiling is higher.
It's all about who can protect the quarterback.
Yeah,
that's what it has to be about. Who can block and keep the quarterback standing up from the running back position?
Because you're looking for a 3-down back, and I like fantasy wise, I think you're going to get a little bit more production than you did last year out of DeAndre Swift because of that. But I'm not. I mean, I think he's a top 8, but there's other guys like higher ceiling. You know,
right.
I mean, I think Jonathan Taylor's got a higher ceiling. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, you know, I'm a little conflicted there in that 8 to 10 too about rankings and stuff. But
so between 4, 5, and 6, and Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, and Jahmyr Gibbs, do you agree with that? I'm not as high on Jahmyr Gibbs as everybody else is. I think it's a dream, maybe in a PPR league.
Yeah.
But in a standard league, I'm definitely not as high on Jahmyr Gibbs. In a standard league, I would probably put Travis Etienne ahead of Jahmyr Gibbs. He carried the ball 1,000 times last year?
he was their offense.
Yeah.
Because Trevor Lawrence was, I mean, like he was good, but he's beat up and he's hurt. Like, I like Saquon. I'm not taking him. He's not my 4th running back.
Okay, so let's do it like this. We got another 3-pack. We got ADP 4, 5, and 6 for running backs. Mm-hmm. Number 4 is listed as Saquon Barkley. Mm-hmm. Number 5 is Jonathan Taylor, and number 6 is Jahmyr Gibbs. Chad, if you had to rearrange those numbers, where would you put them at?
I would take I'd take Jonathan Taylor because of his ceiling. I believe that he's gonna bounce back and have a good year, and I think Anthony Richardson's gonna come on and prove that he's somebody, which is gonna help him. Then I do take Saquon because I'm wondering later on you're gonna see some people who are ranked 18th or 20th that I think are gonna exceed some of these numbers. So I think Saquon right here is 4th on ADP. I think he's kind of 8th.
Okay.
So
what you think there, Joe?
Jonathan Taylor first, that 3. So let's just go through last year. Jonathan Taylor was hurt some of the year. 169 carries. All right. 741 yards and 7 touchdowns. So when the dude is in there, he is the bell cow. Nobody is going to take that job from him. He
missed the majority of the first of the season
because
of
the receiving yards, 153 yards on 19 attempts and 1 touchdown. So he missed. So you can add another third of his production last year onto this year with a if Anthony Richardson is back,
a better team,
it frees him up because they're gonna have to put someone to watch Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
So I think Jonathan Taylor for me is number 4. I really think he's number 3, but I'm just curious to see what he's going to do this year. If he's in a system and if he's ready to play and that dude's 100% recovered, he's going to be a beast.
Oh, remember 2 years ago he won everybody's league.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
with shoddy quarterback play,
stupid quarterback play, with terrible quarterback play. Yeah. Right. So
I got similar opinions, but I got different answers for you guys. So Saquon Barkley is in a system now where the quarterback runs the ball and has the opportunity to run the ball, especially at the goal line. So you're looking at the Philadelphia Eagles. They got that 1-2 yard out, quarterback push, right? So that's going to steal away from Saquon's opportunity. And then you go into Jahmyr Gibbs. Don't forget you got David Montgomery, who was his 1 and 2, and David Montgomery is actually listed in the depth chart as number 1.
Yep.
So going into that, I think it's still going to be a competing backfield for both of them. So I do agree with you, Jonathan Taylor getting more touches, being a more viable running back going into next season. And I almost want to tell you Saquon is next, and then Jahmyr Gibbs will be. Honestly, I'd almost want to tell you bring David Montgomery up because he got more solidified touchdowns last year.
The only thing I like about Jahmyr, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is big. 1, because Dave Montgomery's a year older. 2, it's the second. He was a rookie last year. It's the second year in this system. So they're only going to get better.
Right.
Like, look, they got the number 1 tight end in the league. That team's just going to get better. And they're going to use Jahmyr Gibbs as a strength now. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think years ago, Dan Campbell was tight ends coach for the Saints years ago, whenever Mark Ingram and you had Alvin Kamara they were both fantasy relevant, top 10, top 20, and I think you're going to see the same thing this year out of there with Jahmyr Gibbs being Alvin Kamara and David Montgomery playing the role of Mark Ingram.
One thing I think that people give a lot of credit to Jahmyr Gibbs and being this highly ranked is his breakaway percentages, his breakaway runs. 8.2% of his runs that he broke away went for 15 yards.
Yeah.
So I think people think he's a breakaway runner.
Now that's a lot of that's going to be in the open field when he had that pass, when they actually passed it to him on the closer to the outside of the
Right.
sidelines.
But at the 1 and 2 yard line, Montgomery's getting the ball.
Montgomery's getting the ball.
He's going to be a vulture. He's a touchdown vulture, just like Hurts. Hurts is going to be a touchdown vulture.
But when you look at bell cows, and these guys are all bell cows that we're talking about so far, except for Jahmyr Gibbs, you got to have a good quarterback. You got to have good receivers to free up to make running space.
Yep.
And Jahmyr Gibbs does have that.
He's got all that.
But so does David Montgomery.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, David Montgomery won a league for me. What was it? 2 years ago.
Yep.
And he was,
That's when he was on Chicago.
Yep. It was 3 years ago. He was on Chicago.
Yep. All right, so we're going to go down to number 7, 8, and 9. We got Travis Etienne listed as number 7. Kyrene Williams is 8. And number 9, we got Devon Achane.
This is insane.
Okay, why you say that?
So Devon Achane, again, people are giving him way too much credit.
I agree with
for
you
the
completely.
for the 12 percent of his breakaway runs being 15 yards or more. That is not going to happen again.
I'm not touching him in 20. I'm not touching him in 20. I'm not, ADP 20 maybe.
I want to know where Raheem Mostert's at right here. You know what I'm saying? Because,
Yeah, I know.
Look, we all know, everybody's been trying to get rid of Raheem Mostert.
Raheem Mostert is 32 years old. People are not going to give him the credit he deserves. No. That man, he's a ball player, man. I don't care what his age is.
Yeah.
I mean,
he balls. In San Francisco, he balled. He went to Miami, he balled. They've been trying to team's been trying to get rid of him. All he does is score touchdowns and play. But there is this is why, let me tell you why I don't like David Achane. First of all, his breakaway, look, that dude cannot run the wind. We all know that. We knew that from Texas A&M. He was always hurt at Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. His first year as a rookie, what happened? Hurt. Everybody went and got him. He got hurt. All right? Hey, Miami Dolphins is a system. David Achane's back there, but I give you anybody faster, that system will produce somebody who's going to score points. All right? They just went in the 3rd round. They moved up to go get Jalen Wright.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Look, if they wanted David Achane, they wouldn't have never drafted another running back if they liked him that much.
And maybe they're thinking,
or let's say Mostert's gone.
Mostert is not done. But he's still fast. He can still break away.
But you got another.
He gets hurt a lot.
You got another running back now who's going to be competing for touches, and he's a rookie that they moved up for. So they liked him. All right, Miami's going to put up. Miami's going to run the ball. That's what they do. But I don't trust the injury. His size. He's small. I don't think he can repeat those numbers as he breakaway speed and all that last year. His second year, people are gunning for him. They're like, hey, we're not going to let Tyreek Hill and him beat us. We're going to shut down one of them.
Just to put it in perspective.
And they're not going to shut Hill down.
No.
I'll tell you that right now.
So as good as Achane did on his breakaways, Derrick Henry only ran it for 5.7% of his.
Yeah.
So I mean, Derrick Henry, who's known for breakaway
That's what
runs,
he does. He bullies people and he scores touchdowns.
Achane had more than double what he had. There's no way he can repeat that.
No, there's no way. look, I've always liked the guy. I like the guy at Texas A&M. I thought he's super talented. Like, his skill set's dramatic. I mean, amazing. But if he's been hurt, he was hurt at Texas A&M. He was hurt last year.
Mm-hmm.
They got him brought in another running back. Somebody's not going to get these touches. And it may be all three of them. It may be a 40-40-20 split. But somebody, it's both those, Montgomery and him, are going to get touches taken away from him by the rookie. So that's why I think he should be dropped down a little bit. And I think the same thing for Kieran Williams. Like, that system's amazing. They all come from the same tree. They all come from that same offensive system. McDaniels came from the Rams. I mean, they run the same thing. It works. Zone, run blocking, wide scheme. But they went and got Blake Corum. Hey, if they liked him so much, they would have not went and got Blake Corum, but they went, and Blake Corum's a better back than Kieran Williams is. I mean, that's coming out of college, he was. Mm-hmm. So Kieran Williams to go 8. I mean, that's insane to me. When you got a rookie coming in and you don't know what's going to happen, and he's not going to get the touches he did last year. I mean, Corum's going to get some of these touches.
Right.
So I think these rankings are way higher. Like, see, this is where it gets broad to me, right? So you got Kieran Williams, you got Devin Onchain, who got gaudy numbers last year that I don't think can be repeated. But you got somebody like Aaron Jones, who's going to have a rookie quarterback who, hey, like, all these weapons, but his tight end's hurt. You don't know if his tight end's going to be back. He's going to need a safety blanket. Hey, your safety blanket's going to be Aaron Jones. In a PPR, I think Aaron Jones is going to get more points. I think Aaron Jones is a top 13. And what's he going, like 20th or something right now? 18th. Mm-hmm. Like, that's unreal for a rookie quarterback, and you ain't got a tight end. And you're putting up Kieran Williams and Devin Onchain. I don't get it.
I just to try to make an argument here. Bijan Robinson is 3rd, right?
Yep.
On ADP. Bijan Robinson last season, he had his stats where he had 976 yards and 4 touchdowns, right? And 4 receiving touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you go to Etienne, all right, who's being disrespected.
He's kind of being disrespected. I agree.
In the 7th spot, and you look at his season stats from last year: 1,008 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 1 receiving touchdown.
Yeah.
11 touchdowns. So they use this dude at the goal line.
Yeah.
Etienne is used at the goal line, whether he receives the ball or he runs the ball. And they're talking about they're going to try to lighten the load on him. They can't. There's no way.
I don't know.
They tried that. They tried that initially when he got on the team, and then it didn't work.
No.
Yeah, he's too important.
Yeah. So the scheme between him and his quarterback, I mean, they played through college together, the whole nine, and they used him. So let's go to that. Let's go to 7, 8, and 9. Joe, let's get you to rank those for me where you feel like
7, 8, and 9.
Yep.
ATN stays there because I can't move him any higher. Kyron Williams. If I had to keep those 3 players there, I keep them there. But if I could drop one off, I would drop Achane down a little bit because he's not a bell cow.
Right.
I play the old school way, just like we played 20 years together.
Yep.
I'm always going to go bell cow. I want the volume. I want the guy who's going to be on the field. I want the guy who can protect the quarterback because he's never going to leave the field.
Yeah. 3 down backs.
Yeah.
I want 3 down backs.
And
goal line work.
Yeah.
And Achane is not going to be that guy. He's too small.
Yeah.
They can't leave him in there all the time.
All right. So I hear you out on that. Chad, you got any changes on that you want to make?
I don't have either one of them that high as far as I'm concerned. Like, I mean, look, if I got to pick one, I'll go Devin Achane. I got to, because I think Blake Corum is going to take that job.
Oh yeah, Kyron Williams misses 2 weeks. He's done.
That's why I think but I'm kind of like, that's a boom or bust pick, and I don't want to use, if I'm drafting the first 3 rounds, right? I don't want to throw a dart at a boom or bust, because that could be your whole season.
Yep.
Like, give me proven commodities. Give me low floor, high ceiling guys. Don't give me boom or busts, because boom or busts will have you waiver wire in week 7. Right. I don't want to lose the season in my first 3 rounds. Like, I may suck, but I don't want to lose my fantasy football season in week 3. I'd rather have a dog in the fight where I can make some trades or something later on, give me some options. So
Yeah, I'm going with the
yeah,
known commodity.
known commodities. What I want, like before I pick either one of them, I would go Derrick Henry in Baltimore.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would. Like, I know he's gonna get vultured some, but I know if they come in the goal line, I know who's getting the ball.
All right, so let's get to Derrick Henry real quick. We got 10, 11, and 12. Number 10, we got Josh Jacobs. At number 11, Rashad White, which I know that's a touchy subject for you. And then number 12, we got Derrick Henry. So let's start the table out with that. I personally believe I like Josh Jacobs exactly where he's at because I think he's about to take over that backfield. I think this is a team he's been waiting to get onto. This is kind of like the old Raiders for him, where he had a window. He had other players that took away the spy from him last year. They couldn't throw the ball to their wide receivers, their tight end to save their life. So he just got hammered, all the time. And I think at this point now he's got that window in which he's going to be able to get those touches. I do not like Rashad White where he's at. I think Derrick Henry has to move up. And I agree with you as far as everything else goes. I think Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs should be a lot higher than 10 and 12. But if I had to go, I'm going to go Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, and I'm not even touching Rashad White this year.
No.
Nah, neither am I. I don't.
So for me, I put Derrick Henry in front of Josh Jacobs, and I put Josh Jacobs in the 11th spot. And I don't even know why Rashad White is in the 11th spot. I mean, he's got threats behind him. I mean, all he needs is his. I think if I'm not mistaken, his yardage per carry was like 3 point.
Terrible. 3.2, 3.1, something like that.
Yeah.
PPR, he saved you. And it was the amount. It wasn't how good he was. It was just how many touches he got. Dave Canales left. Like the thing that made that offense go, he left. He went to Carolina. The guy who made that offense go is gone, and I think there went Rashad White's touches, a lot of them, because it's a different scheme now. It's different completely.
When Canales left, there went Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I think Baker's going to fall off. I think the only person who's going to be fantasy relevant over there is maybe Mike Evans. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, because they did some good stuff, but Canales is gone.
Yeah, and I don't know though. See, they just gave Mike Evans a bunch of money.
They paid him.
When you do that, a lot of times your odds of them falling off is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't.
They feel like
he's produced no matter what. I think he's just generally a talented guy at getting that high point of
amazing.
I feel like if he doesn't get on another team though, I feel like Mike Evans is just gonna
waste it away.
Yeah, he's just gonna eventually just lay down.
Not to jump to wide receivers, but somehow the past 5 seasons, I've always gotten Mike Evans on my fantasy team. And it's not that I want him. It just happens to be the value at the point in that draft.
That's a good problem to have, though, man. I've had a lot worse 5 now. Look, this is Josh Jacobs. I think this is a dream scenario.
Oh, yeah. Awesome offensive line.
Man, good offensive line. Young team. Look, what Jordan Love, when we're going to get into this a little later on different topics, but he was second in the league in touchdown passes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's Romeo Dobbs, and he's got Reed, and I wish Christian Watson would get healthy, because there's weapons and weapons and weapons. Look, they're 2 tight ends, Tucker Kraft, and they were both rookies, and they put up numbers. Like, all they're going to do, like, options. You can't stop Josh. You're not going to be able to stop him in this offense.
No.
Not if he comes ready to play.
No. And he catches the ball out the backfield just as good as anybody.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this is a dream scenario. Like, I like this pick. Like, it's a better, younger Aaron Jones is what you got.
Yep.
I
do. I like it. All right, so we're going to move down to 13, 14, and 15. Running back, ADP 13, James Cook. Mm-hmm. Number 14, Isaiah Pacheco. And number 15, Kenneth Walker. What do you think, Chad?
I like this ranking. It doesn't... This is kind of like, I think Pacheco was hurt, so I don't know where you're going to... I'm looking down, and I think it's kind of ranked about where you want it, I think. Like, you got a new offensive coordinator in Seattle, but I don't... Seattle's always ran like they tried the Rashad Penny and adding somebody else, but they've always kind of been like, since Marshawn Lynch, they have one back. Use that one back.
And it didn't matter what kind of backup they had. That guy didn't work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out. And this is, you got your back. You got the one. He's good. Give him the ball. I like this ranking. I like James Cook in Buffalo. I know they went and picked up some backups, but he's the lead back. And, I mean, you're going to score points in that offense.
Here's what was crazy based off of what you just said. Kenneth Walker, he's the guy back there, right? And then last year they were talking about the rookie Charbonneau the whole time. Well, then Walker went down, and Charbonneau didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything.
He had to wait till Walker got back just to even get any value on that team.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a curse that team has. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I just think they like to do things that way in Seattle. They've tried.
Yep.
They got a new coach and all that, so we're going to see what happens. But I think Kenneth Walker is your guy. Zach Charbonnet, look, he was supposed to be this coming out and good, and he didn't show us anything.
Nothing.
No.
So
he had his window. He did. I think it was 3 or 4 games,
and he didn't take advantage.
He didn't take advantage.
And that tells you all you need to know.
I think there's not much of a choice between James Cook and Pacheco. I mean, they're interchangeable.
That offense,
I can't get Cook. Okay, I go to Pacheco.
Hey, both those offenses, you know those backs are going to score, right? Like, so you're like, it's Buffalo's running back. I know I'm going to score. Like, it's Kansas City's running back. Maybe Pacheco a little more because Travis Kelce struggled a little bit last year.
I'm going to tell you what's crazy.
And
right?
Rasheed Rice, but it's not going to be this. So they'll be able to put another defender in the box. Go ahead.
Kind of going on what he's talking about, like both of y'all actually said, they're interchangeable, right? So James Cook he has no competition in the backfield.
No.
And neither does Pacheco. You have some backups and everything right there, but they pretty much still alike. Every time.
Yeah.
That's your starter.
The only the difference is James Cook knows how to evade tacklers, and Pacheco thinks he can run
through them.
And eventually his lifespan is not going to be
because right now his breakaway percentages is 5.7.
Right.
If he would just quit initiating the contact, it would greatly increase that.
Yep.
And he was banged up last year a little bit too.
But I like the way Pacheco plays.
Yeah, that's kind of like
old school.
Old school, and I like it. Yeah.
All right, so Joe, if you had an opportunity to redo these ADPs, James Cook, Pacheco, and Walker, what order are you going to put them in? Are they staying exactly where they're at?
For these three, the top two, I go Pacheco over Cook strictly for touchdown points because they do know Pacheco is their bell cow, and James Cook is now the bell cow, but Pacheco's proven to be able to get.
And Josh Allen likes to run the ball in a lot.
Yeah. Pacheco's proven already. Cook will have to prove himself a little bit more this year from what he did last year with only just limited touchdowns. And Kenneth Walker, I don't know why he's even this high. There's other players.
I agree.
I agree with you too. That's just one of those. Maybe all offensive change, and they're hoping because I think there's other players.
But then again, they've made it put him because they know he's never going to come off the field because Charbonnet was horrible.
Hot garbage. Yeah.
So, I keep it. I put Pacheco over Cook.
All right. So look, let's get into a little touchy 3-part section right here.
I want to get touchy, dude.
This is going to get real touchy. Not the way you like it.
Oh fuck yeah.
So, number 16 we got Joe Mixon. Number 17 we got Alvin Kamara, and then we got number 18 Aaron Jones.
I love Aaron Jones this year. I love him. I'm telling you why. Hey, you are going Minnesota right now. At one time, wasn't Minnesota like 6-0 last year with Kirk Cousins? And like this team's stacked, man. Like Jordan Addison on one side. You got just got paid. Jordan Jefferson.
Yeah.
I mean, God, this team, Justin Jefferson, you got this whole team is stacked, man. TJ Hawkinson's hurt, which is about the only thing. He tore his ACL, which means he's probably gonna miss half the year. But
no quarterback.
And I don't remember, what was it, week 14 last year, you had Nick Mullins and they played Detroit and nobody was running the ball. I don't remember who the running back was. And
Ty Chin.
said it was bad. And he put up 400 yards.
Yeah, Ty Chandler looked like a bell cow, like a number one.
Jesus, if you give them a running back and a quarterback, this for the talent wise, Minnesota should, I bet, oh man. And I love Aaron Jones, and it has to do with he's older, he's been through the system, he catches the ball out of the backfield, he knows how to play 3 downs. It's a rookie quarterback. you're normally this tight end is going to be who saves your rookie quarterbacks from all the stress and all that. You ain't got that. You have Aaron Jones. Give me Aaron Jones in a PPR over a lot of these people, and that's how I feel about it.
So
It's just that team's too talented. Like, I know they got Sam Darnold, man. Y'all should go out and do something better than that. Y'all are wasting so much. You got J.J. McCarthy and you got Sam Darnold heading up that team. Dude, they're doing the whole state of Minnesota a disservice.
they're going to run the ball nonstop.
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy, that's all he did in
That's all
college.
he did in Michigan. Nobody saw him throw the ball.
So, for me, on these three, Joe Mixon is 100% number one for
Me
them
too.
three. Because you have, instead of 2 weapons, he's got 3 wide receivers who are dangerous and a tight end. So there's going to be plenty of running room for Joe Mixon, who can also catch the ball. And they talk about backup getting some work or whatever. He's never going to touch the field. Joe Mixon protects the quarterback. He's just older.
And on top of that, he's proven his ability to either be that bell cow or to be that guy who can protect the quarterback and get in open space and catch the ball just like everybody
The
else.
one of these 3 I do not like is Alvin Kamara. And just everybody that at home knows we are Saints
Fans, yeah.
Yeah.
And I would not touch Alvin Kamara in this position.
I'm scared of him too.
I'm with you. So Alvin Kamara, and this is just a personal feeling, where I feel like what Alvin Kamara is at, is that he's tired, right? So Alvin Kamara's got the ability, got the opportunity. The thing is that when he stepped up to help his team out, they used him until he just had nothing left. And then now they're trying to put all their pieces together, and it's kind of like he's just getting out the way.
Right.
He's still the best running back New Orleans has.
Yeah.
He's just he doesn't have that spark he used to have.
There's a time.
There's a disconnect.
There's a time to get rid of somebody. And the Saints are missing their window. While
Yeah.
he has value, they're missing their window.
I think it's a disservice to Alvin Kamara and the Saints not to give him a better team.
The only thing I have hope for is that when we got the new offensive coordinator, when Saints got that and they run the wide zone, I think his numbers are going to go up. I mean, but his numbers, God help us if they go down from last year, man. Yeah. I mean, what was that? And the way they used him, I think, what was that Tampa Bay game? He had like 13 catches for 41 yards. Like, you're just using this man. It's terrible. Like, and his numbers are suffering for it. I hope the wide zone gives him more opportunity. You else got to think about right now, the Saints, all I know is they have 3 offensive linemen that are starting. Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, Tuisa Fuaga, and I don't even know where Fuaga is going to start. Left tackle, right tackle. I don't even know who's going to be the offensive lineman. Who's going to block for anybody?
But that's where getting rid of Kamara comes in. You think about these running back needy teams. The Cowboys.
Man.
I mean, they go back and get Ezekiel Elliott.
Man. Yeah.
If you could have put Kamara on the Cowboys and got an offensive lineman, a starting offensive lineman out of it,
I'd be picking Dak Prescott this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that Alvin Kamara in a new situation where he actually
CeeDee
wants
Lamb's
to be.
value goes up if you add Kamara.
Yeah.
Because now you got somebody to take the eyes away from CeeDee Lamb. Like it's such a value there. And like you said, what could the Cowboys offer the Saints? I mean, a lot. Really, they could.
Yeah.
To get that value. Aaron Jones, man, I'm gonna tell you something. He's like you said, he's in heaven right now.
Yeah.
This was his window. He got it. I think he gets. Honestly, I think after this year, he almost gets paid. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I think he's probably going to be close to retiring. But I think this is my bold statement.
He's going to get more. He's going to take that last couple of years as a 1-year signed contract for some good money, maybe 2 years.
This is my bold statement. And if I'm wrong, it won't be the first time in fantasy football. But I think Aaron Jones is going to be a top 13 running back.
Easy.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I think he's going to be a top 13 running back.
You can expect the same from him over the years, and he goes from one great offensive line to another great offensive line.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're going to miss a whole lot from him.
No.
All right, so we got our last 3 coming up. 19, 20, and 21. We got Najee Harris as number 19.
Gross.
Ramondre Stevenson is number 20.
Gross.
And DeAndre Swift with the team Chicago, who says they're going to prove the world differently. I think they fall apart like they've been doing.
I do.
I like Swift, though.
I just think he's in the wrong team.
I like I like this player. This player is like, I've always liked DeAndre Swift. I always thought he was great. Like in Detroit, he caught the ball. They got rid of him. In Philadelphia, they ain't throwing the ball. They hand him the ball, and what did he do? He ran the ball. Like this dude. Like this dude is good. Like I don't like Chicago's that team where I'm like, Jesus, man, get a quarterback. Like I liked Caleb Williams. I liked Caleb Williams when he went to Oklahoma. Like I remember whenever he took over Spencer Rattler and he won, and then went to USC. And I think he got kind of cocky and fed up. Like I like him as a player, but when there's smoke, there's usually sound, and you're hearing it. There's contract. You don't know what's going on with his contract yet. They're saying he's working, but it ain't going so well. And all the talent, man, all the talent over there, like Rome Odunze, like Atlanta gave him any other draft. Rome Odunze is the number one wide receiver. You know, it's just Marvin Harrison Jr. and Neighbors came out the same year. Like Keenan Allen, he's old, but God, throw the ball up. Keenan Allen's going to go get it. Yep. You know, look, he's part of that. Look, there, Cole Kmet is a good tight end. They got weapons, man.
Oh yeah, Cole Kmet. He just didn't have the offensive scheme last year. Just didn't give Cole Kmet the value he deserved.
And then they brought over Everett, so I think they're going to run a 2 tight end scheme to help protect Caleb Williams. Yep. And the 2 tight end schemes means you're going to be bunched, which means you should be able to run the ball. And I would move up. I would move him up to 18. And
so you think Najee Harris is going to have less value than DeAndre Swift this year?
I do, and this is why. Because I think whenever I think Russell Wilson's going to run for his life, he's going to suck, and then they're going to take him out, and they're going to put Fields in, and Fields is going to run for his life, and Najee Harris is going to get 2 carries, first down, second down, 3 yards, 2 yards, and we need a 3rd down and 7 to make it long.
Who's the dump off specialist at running back in Pittsburgh? It's not Najee Harris. It's Jaylen Warren.
It's Jaylen Warren. Yep. And they're probably going to play behind a lot. I see it. I don't have no faith in George Pickens. I don't like the Steelers this year. I really don't.
No, they're definitely in a rebuild situation here.
Arthur Smith, he had all them weapons in Atlanta.
And did he come for free? Because who would have actually paid this dude?
Oh my God,
to come and do their offense?
Yeah, he got mad whenever the Saints scored a touchdown on him last. He wanted to beat him up, dude. That's the most fight I've seen him.
I tell you right now, I know Bill Belichick's looking for a job.
Yeah.
he may have his window halfway through this season. He may be part of the Pittsburgh Steelers fans.
So for me, on 19, 20, 21, I don't like any of them in their position.
I don't either.
So bold prediction from me. Ramondre Stevenson won't even be the starting running back, and Antonio Gibson will be the starting running back in New England because of his ability to catch the ball and his evasiveness.
Yeah.
Ramondre Stevenson has already showed he's an injury risk, and he's not an evasive running back. So I'm saying by week 4, week 5, they're still going to be in a little bit of a share. But
I also think this is where they change over quarterbacks around week 4 and 5 too.
Yeah, yep.
You know, unless Russell Wilson finds the old Russell Wilson of old from the Seahawks, it's all Justin Field time.
If I'm in a terrible situation where I have Ramondre Stevenson, I have to pick him on my team. Of course, I don't pick kickers or defenses. I get them off the waiver wire before the season starts. I'm going to 100% have Antonio Gibson. You're going
to use the old handcuff.
Yeah.
Old handcuff strategy. Look at that.
One of the two is going to fall off.
Caveman fantasy. I like it. Look, I think out of all these people, like people who are getting forgotten, man, I think Zach Moss is probably getting forgotten, man.
I don't know why he is the best at protecting the quarterback. Okay, That's why he's there with Joe Burrow.
Let's stop right here. So we're gonna stop right here because we're about to conclude this episode. But let's talk. You wanted to bring this up, Joe. Let's try to bring somebody up from the top 40 and try to bring him to the top 20. Joe, I know you already had somebody in mind. What do you think?
Gus Edwards.
Okay.
Bell cow. Yeah. No threat to him. Look at what he did.
So now Gus Edwards is exactly at 40.
Right.
Gus Edwards is playing for the Chargers this year.
Right.
All right.
And you had a much smaller running back last year or the year before who still could get stuff done. This dude is a bell cow. They got rid of him.
Where do you put him at in the top?
Where we were just talking at.
You want to put him in 18, 19, 20?
Yep. Because
who would you take him above Najee Harris?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I got my eyes on Gus Edwards because he's a red zone beast. 13 touchdowns on 198 attempts. If he gets 220, 240 attempts, he's going to have 18 touchdowns. This dude, he's a goal line back. And if he's not going to be your number one running back, he definitely should be your number two because you're chasing touchdowns for your second.
But you know Harbaugh's going to run the ball.
He's going to run it down.
Harbaugh's going to run the ball.
And he loves a bell cow. He wants one guy.
But I just Gus Edwards always gets hurt, man. God, I've drafted him so many times, and he's just kicked my ass. Which way? God, he's so good when he plays, though.
Yeah, that's probably why Baltimore kind of got rid of him because he does have a little bit of injury. Yeah. And Derrick Henry was out there.
Oh shit, man, you got to go get him.
All right, Chad, your turn. Go ahead. If you got anybody, you can bring up from the top in the 40 into the top 20.
Oh gosh, man, Oh, sorry about that. I don't even know. Like I was thinking Zach Moss because you know he's going to be on the field, and that Bengals offense is just electric. Like you don't know. I just don't know what's going to go on with that other receiver. Like you got Chase obviously, but as Higgins going to get paid or not? But that's it. I don't know if that even affects him. Like I think Zach Moss is going to be on the field a lot, and Chase Brown come on strong later on, but you can't expect that again. And Joe Burrow is going to be playing this year, so I mean, that alone should get you in top 20, I think. And if I was to pick a surprise, I think I actually kind of got like, I don't know if he cracks the top 20, but I think what you're going to see, I think you're going to see James Conner fall this year.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're going to see Trey Benson show up. Trey Benson just got drafted. They like him. He's electric. And I think probably by the end of this year, you're going to see Trey Benson taking over that role in Arizona. They want to get younger. They want to get faster and electric. And that's the way to start right there.
If they don't fix their quarterback issue.
Yeah, Kyler
Murray.
Yeah, I think Kyler Murray is going to do better than we've seen him do ever this year.
Think so.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay. All right, for me, I'm looking at Raheem Mostert. Like nice. I just love this guy. It's not about his ability to be better and faster than everybody else. It's his consistency. Last year, I mean, his touchdown rating. Here, let me get to his stats real quick. I know for a fact because I had him last year in a couple of leagues, and he even on the games that A-Chain got all those points and all those open space plays, he was killing it.
Yeah.
18 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
18. Like, man, and you can't ask for more than that in a fantasy football running back. So I really believe, he's easily in the top 18 for me, if not a little higher than that.
So what do you guys think about there's a couple other bell cows in here that are 40 or lower. I'm just going to name two, Devin Singletary and Jerome Ford. What do you think?
No, well, I don't. Jerome Ford's good.
He's never come off the field. Yeah, Chubb. I don't know if Chubb's healthy. Just because they're showing videos of him running doesn't mean he can take contact.
There's a lot of conflict. I've been reading on the Chubb issue. There's a lot of conflict between Chubb and Cleveland, and it's either going to be one of them moments where he kind of lays down and tries to get to another team, or he steps up and says, "Look, I'm going to prove to y'all that y'all don't have what it takes to take me out of this game."
Right. I hope he does.
Yeah, me too. I like him. He's always been a great back.
He's something to watch.
And then Jerome Ford, he's just going to go fading away if Chubb decides he's going to be that guy.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple other people we can talk about. I think if you liked Rachaad White last year and you like him, I think instead of going that, take a flyer on the rookie Jonathan Brooks. Yep. Dave Canales went from Tampa Bay to there. He picked Brooks. Brooks he got hurt last year with an ACL, but out of Texas, he did some good. And I think people may be sleeping on Tajay Spears too out in Tennessee.
I do.
Tennessee's got to have some kind of work, and you know Tajay's out there.
So I mean, if we're gonna bring up Nick Chubb and Jerome Ford, I mean, those guys too are gonna get work too, and they're worth. I mean, some of these guys we're talking about are 40, 34, 35 APR, and I think they're running back twos.
Yeah, there's 4 or 5 running backs here who could lose their job easily.
Yep. So I mean, this is this is kind of where we are when this running back committee starts.
Awesome. All right. So this concludes our episode on running backs. Next time, quarterbacks? Quarterbacks. We're going to go into quarterbacks. All right. This is SmashMouth Footballerz, and I'm Nick Tate.
Joe Caldero.
Chad Young.
We're out.
SmashMouth Footballerz. Sponsored by Aspis Emergency Preparedness, NT23 Investing, and Tate Property Management.